You know, for so many people, the battle with depression feels like this endless, frustrating cycle. You try one medication, then another, and they just don't quite work. But what if there was a completely new path forward? Today, we're going to look at a pretty groundbreaking shift in mental health care that's bringing a new wave of hope right to Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan.
I mean, really think about it. Imagine you've been fighting depression, doing everything you're supposed to. You've tried different medications, you've followed all the instructions, but you're still not feeling like yourself. It's an incredibly isolating experience, right? So what do? What happens when the standard treatments just aren't cutting it?
Well, that struggle actually has a name, and believe it or not, it's a lot more common than you might think. So let's start by digging into what it really means when depression seems to resist the usual ways we try to treat it.
So what is this thing? It's officially called treatment-resistant depression, or TRD for short. And let's be super clear, this has nothing to do with personal failure or not trying hard enough. It is a real clinical diagnosis for when major depression just doesn't get better after trying at least 2 different types of antidepressants. It's a huge challenge that millions of people are facing every single day.
And then there's the other side of the coin. Even when the medications do provide some relief, they can come with a whole list of their own problems. I'm talking about debilitating side effects, things like constant nausea, weight gain, not being able to sleep, or just feeling exhausted all the time. It forces people into this impossible choice between the symptoms of depression and the side effects of the treatment.
But what if you didn't have to make that choice? In this next section, we're going to explore a new wave of innovation that's offering a totally different kind of hope, one that goes way beyond the traditional playbook.
And this is exactly where a company called Junction Brain Health comes into the picture. Their entire mission is laser-focused on this specific problem. They're all about providing safe, effective, and non-invasive treatments for the very people who feel like traditional methods have let them down.
So how are they doing it? With 2 really advanced FDA-approved therapies. The first is called transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS. The second is a nasal spray called Spravato. And these aren't just some experimental ideas. We're talking about proven, regulated treatments designed to tackle this challenge head-on. Okay, so how do these things actually work? How does innovation fight depression? That is the big question, right? Let's dive into the science behind them and see what makes them so different, and for so many, so much more effective. Let's break down TMS first, because it's pretty fascinating. Basically, a device sends these gentle, MRI-strength magnetic pulses to a very specific spot in your brain, the part that controls your mood. In people with depression, this area is often underactive, so these pulses, they kind of wake up those sleepy neural circuits. It's like jump-starting a car, but for your brain. This targeted stimulation helps get brain function back to normal, which then eases the symptoms of depression. You're treating the problem right at the source.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. When you put TMS side by side with traditional treatments, the differences are just stark. Regular medications are systemic, meaning they go into your bloodstream and affect your whole body. TMS is non-systemic. It only targets that one specific mood center in the brain. And what does that mean for you? Minimal side effects, maybe a mild headache that goes away. It's drug-free, non-invasive, and get this, people can start seeing results in just 2 to 4 weeks.
And the results? Well, they really speak for themselves. After just 1 month, 80% of patients getting TMS therapy reported an improvement in their symptoms. 80%! Now compare that to the 30% improvement rate for traditional medications. That is an absolute game changer.
The other powerful tool they have is Spravato. This is an FDA-approved nasal spray. Now, it works differently from TMS. It targets different pathways in the brain, but it can provide really rapid relief for adults with TRD. And because it's so unique and fast-acting, it has to be administered in a clinic, under medical supervision, which ensures it's both safe and as effective as possible.
So, this incredible innovation isn't just something you read about in a science journal anymore. It's not a distant dream. It's here, and it's local. Let's talk about how all this new hope is finally coming home to Toledo.
And there it is. This is the news we've been building up to. Junction Brain Health has officially opened its doors right here in the area. This is making these potentially life-changing treatments accessible to people all across Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan.
Randy Ustra, the CEO, really summed up the spirit behind this new clinic perfectly. He said, "Toledo deserves a dedicated brain health center where they can find hope, options, and a team that truly understands what they're going through." You can just feel that this isn't just about business, it's a mission to serve the community.
And for anyone in the Toledo area, this New Hope now has a physical address. The clinic is officially open for patients at the ProMedica Flower Hospital in Sylvania. It's a real place you can go to, where this new era of mental health treatment is already happening.
The potential here is just wow. The Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Manish Karamchandani, he puts it this way. For the right patients, these treatments can be life-changing. He says they see people all the time who have spent years just cycling through medications with hardly any benefit.
So, what does this all mean for you, or maybe for someone you love who's been struggling? Let's talk about the most important part of this whole story. What is the actual path to finding relief?
Honestly, nothing speaks louder than the words of someone who has actually walked this path. Just listen to this, from a patient named Corey. Self-hate, suicidal thoughts, shame, gone. I want to be alive for the first time in my life. I mean, that's the very definition of a life being transformed.
And here's another powerful story from Tracy P. She says, after years of trying several medications and talk therapy, TMS gave me real relief. I finally feel like myself again. This is the kind of breakthrough these treatments are bringing to people who thought they had completely run out of options.
Look, the most important takeaway here is that this help is actually within reach. If anything we've talked about today sounds like it could be for you, taking that first step is really simple. You don't even need a doctor's referral. You can reach out directly yourself. Just call the number on your screen or visit their website, junctionbh.com, to learn more or schedule a consultation. It's a direct path to finding out if this new hope could be right for you.